All right, 6:02. Now we're going to talk about the wildfires that keep popping up nowadays all over New Mexico.
Let's start out west with the Silver Fire in the Gila. It has now burned more than 2,200 acres. None of it is contained right now, and firefighters say it is probably going to keep growing. Plus, dozens of people who live in Kingston are still evacuated for the second day in a row. The fire started last Friday about 50 miles northeast of Silver City. Highway 152 is still closed through the Black Range from San Lorenzo to Hillsboro. And up north, there is a new fire now burning in the Pecos, and it too is growing quickly. The Jaroso fire has burned about 1,300 acres in a remote area of the Santa Fe National Forest. Lightning started this fire yesterday afternoon. Now, firefighters are mostly attacking it from the air. A few on the ground have had to leave the area because it was so unsafe.
Well, good news now for the state's largest wildfire, the Thompson Ridge fire burning in the Jemez Mountains. People who live in Thompson Ridge, Rancho de la Cueva, and Elk Valley are now being allowed back home. The fire's burned 21,000 acres and is now 50% contained. And the Tres Lagunas fire is getting closer to being completely contained this morning. It's burned a little more than 10,000 acres near Pecos and is 70% contained. Firefighters hope to have it all under control a little bit later this week. Folks who live north of Windy Bridge are still being forced out of their homes. We were told crews have been able to get in there and restore power and phone service.
Let's turn our attention to meteorologist Kristen Van Dyke here to talk about this wildfire threat, I guess, that we're still in.
Yeah, it's still going to be sticking around for us today. In fact, fire danger just going up for us. And it's going to be a tougher day for the firefighters, too. We've lost some of the humidity that was helping the fires over the weekend. And then even yesterday, we hung on to a little bit of moisture for the first half of the day, but it has dropped dramatically, anywhere from 15 to 30% up in the mountains this morning. This is the lowest it's going to be all day and quite a bit lower than where we started yesterday. And so we could see this drop to the teens and single digits in the mountains this afternoon, and even over in the Gila too. We're going to see bone dry conditions there. At least we won't see the storms developing, bringing in the gusty winds. That was a problem yesterday with the lightning starting new fires. We won't see that today, but the winds are going to pick up on their own today, and then you're going to have the heat too. Wind speeds right now pretty light out there, but up in the northern mountains, northeast New Mexico, we could see 20 to 30 mile an hour winds sustained at times, and then gusty between 35 and 40. That's where we have red flag warnings in effect, and even down the Gila, winds there 15 to 25, gusting to 30 and 35 miles an hour. All this coming from mainly the west. So very dry, very hot and windy. It's going to be a tough day today for the firefighters.
All right, Kristen, thank you for that. For information on all closures, head to KRQE.com and make sure you keep it here on KRQE for the very latest on the fire and any fire restrictions. You can get the details along with the very latest anytime online.